Welcome to Ganitika.com. This is a website for mathematics lovers, learners and leaders. In this video, we will talk about definition of congruency and similarity and how it affects the shapes and sizes of different figures. Let's consider these two photo frames. If I move one of the frames over the other, you can see that they exactly overlap on each other, which means they are congruent. Why are they congruent? If I measure this side and if I measure the corresponding side of the second photo frame, I can see that they measure the same length, 12 centimeters. And the other corresponding sides are the widths of these photo frames, which is here and here. And if you can measure them, and you can see that they have the same measurement, 7 centimeters. So congruent figures have same shape and same size. The corresponding sides will be of the same length and the shape will be maintained. In this case, the shape is rectangle in both the frames and the lengths are 12 centimeters while the widths are 7 centimeters. So these two photo frames are congruent to each other because they have the same shape and same size. Let's consider another photo frame. And I'm going to make a smaller frame than this and a larger one than this. So I have three frames of the same shape but different sizes, and therefore they are called similar figures. Similar figures have same shape but different size. These two similar figures have the same shape, of course. Both of them are rectangles. But what about their sides? So let's measure the sides of these two figures. The corresponding lengths of these two figures will be 12 centimeters for the bigger one and 6 centimeters for the smaller one. The other corresponding sides are the widths of the figures, and the width of the first one is 10 centimeters and the width of the second one is 5 centimeters. So the corresponding sides are 12 centimeters and 6 centimeters on the length side. The widths are 10 centimeters and 5 centimeters. Therefore, corresponding sides of two similar figures are always proportional to each other, which means they are in the same ratio. The ratio of the lengths is 12 to 6 and the ratio of the widths is 10 to 5, and both of them have the same ratio, which is 2 to 1. So if all the sides are in the same ratio and the shape is maintained, then we say that they are similar figures. Here there is a matchstick house. Let's say we want to build a smaller version of this stick house, which is going to be similar to this, which means we have to maintain the shape, but the lengths of the sides will be smaller. Let's say we have to construct half the size of this original figure. Let's start with the roof. Let's take half the size of the roof and construct the roof first. Now you know the size of the roof is half, but we need to maintain the angle between the roof as in the original house. Therefore, this is the roof for the smaller house that we are going to construct. We have half the size of the roof, but the angle between the two roofs are going to be maintained the same. If the original size was 4 centimeters, now we need to have a size of 2 centimeters for the roof because we are going for half the size of the original picture. Consider the walls now. Take half the length of the walls and place them under the roofs in the same way as they were placed in the original picture, which means you have to maintain the angles between them. Now if the walls were 3 centimeters before, now it would be 1.5 centimeters, which is half the original one. Going for the base, align it with the walls in such a way that it maintains the same angle with the walls as in the original picture. So angles are all the same, but the sizes are going to be half of the original size. Going for the last part, which is the door, all the measurements are taken half of the original ones and you align in the same way as it is aligned in the original picture. And you can see the sizes are going to be half in each case. Therefore, we have constructed a similar stick house to the original one given. In this case, the ratio of the original one to the smaller one is 2 to 1. You can also notice that all the angles in the original picture are the same as the angles in the smaller picture, while the sides are proportional. Therefore, these two figures are similar to each other. Let's go back to congruent figures. If these two figures are congruent, you know that they can be overlapped on each other, which means the sides are going to be the same as well as the angles. So two congruent figures will have corresponding sides and corresponding angles to be equal to each other. Whereas in similar figures, you will have a figure smaller or bigger than the original one, but the angles are supposed to be maintained. So if the angles are all the same, but the sides are proportional, then we say that the two figures are similar. So corresponding angles should be equal and corresponding sides should be proportional, which means if they are in the same ratio, then the two figures are said to be similar to each other. Now for some questions. Which of the following figures are congruent? Find out the set of figures which are congruent to each other from these 9 figures. And which of the following pairs of figures are similar? There are 4 pairs of figures A, B, C, D. In A you have 2 triangles, in B you have 2 rhombuses, C has 2 trapeziums, and D has 2 hexagons. Out of these 4 sets of figures, which have similar pairs of figures? For answers, register in the website ganitika.com and look into the chapter Congruency and Similarity. Hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and to the website ganitika.com to learn more about mathematics. Bye bye.